So you want to stop rambling, right? You want to sound sharp, decisive, and actually have people listen when you talk. Well, you're in the right place. We're about to break down a super simple, science-backed trick that can totally change the way you speak. And we're talking minutes, not years. Let's just dive right in.
You know the feeling. We've all been there. You're trying to make a really important point, and you can just see it in their eyes. They're glazing over. And then what happens? You start to ramble, your confidence just tanks, and your whole message gets lost in the noise. It's so frustrating. But what if I told you the solution isn't really about what you're saying, but how you're saying it?
And that, right there, is the big mindset shift we've got to make. You know, powerful communication isn't some kind of magical talent you're either born with or you're not. It's actually a science. Researchers can now tell us with incredible precision what makes one speaker magnetic and another totally forgettable. It's a skill you can learn, and it's all based on how our brains are wired.
Okay, so let's get into that science. The very first thing you need to get your head around is this. People are reacting to you way before they're actually processing your words. It all comes down to this really fascinating thing our brains do automatically.
And this happens at a ridiculous speed. We're talking 200 milliseconds. That is literally faster than you can blink. So what does that mean? It means people don't respond to your words first. They respond to the emotional vibe you're putting out. Their brain is literally mirroring your internal state without them even knowing it.
And here's where that gets super practical. You are the thermostat for the room's nervous system. Think about it. If you walk into a meeting feeling all tense and scattered, guess how everyone else is going to feel? Tense and scattered. But if you walk in calm, certain, and grounded, you bring their nervous systems down with you. You're setting the entire emotional tone before you've even made your first point.
There's this incredible story of this idea being put to the ultimate test in a super tense private equity meeting. So imagine this. You walk into a room, it's packed with men in suits, everyone's talking over each other, and there isn't even a chair for you. Now, instead of trying to shout to be heard, the speaker just pulled up a chair and sat there, quietly. And because she was so calm and grounded, within about 90 seconds, the entire chaotic energy of that room just shifted and focused right back on her. Her calm literally regulated their chaos. Okay, so that's all about how our own internal state can completely change a room. Now let's kind of flip the script and look inside the listener's brain. Turns out there are 3 really simple principles that are key to grabbing and holding their attention. First up, novelty. Our brains are basically addicted to surprise. So if you start with a bold statement or a weird question, you're literally forcing their brain to snap to attention. Second, simplicity. A study from the University of Munich found something amazing. Listeners actually think speakers who use simple language are smarter and more trustworthy. So stop trying to sound smart with big words. And third, questions. When you ask a question, it triggers a release of dopamine. That's the brain's feel-good chemical, and it makes your listener way more alert and curious about what's coming next. And here's a super quick tactical shift you can use right away. Research from Columbia University found that if you frame a statement as an observation, it sounds a whopping 40% more credible than if you frame it as just an opinion. So I think, sounds weak, it's a low-confidence signal, but I've observed, that sounds like your point is backed up by data, by experience. All right, so we've covered our own internal state, and we've peeked inside the listener's brain. Now let's talk about the physical tools you've got. I'm talking about your voice and your body. Seriously, you should think of them as a remote control for your audience's entire physiology.
Okay, this one is absolutely wild. Researchers at University College London discovered that a listener's heartbeat will subconsciously sync up to the rhythm of your voice. This is a real thing. It's called vocal entrainment. You are, quite literally, setting the pace for their body with your voice.
So what this means is your voice is an insanely powerful tool. If you speak in a rushed, stressed-out way, you're making their heart rate go up. But if you speak in a steady, rhythmic way, you're literally calming them down. It's also why phrases that have a nice rhythm just feel more truthful. The brain can process them more easily. And this goes for your body too. Using open hand gestures, for instance, signals to their brain that you're trustworthy, that you have nothing to hide.
But when it comes down to it, what's the single most powerful communication tool that any of us have? It's not some stat, it's not a fact, it's something that is 22 times more memorable.
That's right, stories. According to research from Stanford, stories are 22 times more memorable than just facts alone. And why is that? Well, because a good story triggers something called neural coupling. It actually lights up the sensory and motor parts of the listener's brain, which lets them experience your point as if it were happening to them. They don't just hear your data, they live your message.
So we've covered the science of your own state, what's happening in the listener's brain, and how you use your voice and body.
Now let's put it all together into one simple, incredibly powerful technique that you can use in any tough or important conversation.
This is it, the 3-2-1 speaking trick. It's so easy to remember, but it is devastatingly effective when you absolutely need to be heard, stop rambling, and communicate with real authority. Okay, here's exactly how it works. When it's your turn to speak, especially if things are getting a little tense, the first thing you do is you pause for 3 full seconds. 1, 2, 3. Second, you make only 2 points. That's it, no more. And third, you end with one question to pull them right back into the conversation. Now let's look at the science behind why this simple trick works so well.
See, every single step here is a brain hack. That 3-second pause, it activates the part of your brain that's responsible for error detection. It's like wiping your mental windshield clean so you can think clearly. Limiting yourself to just 2 points works perfectly with the brain's dual-track memory, which can handle one verbal idea and one visual idea at the same time. And ending with that single question, it's like a pattern interrupt. It instantly shuts down their brain's daydreaming mode and forces them to engage with you right here, right now.
Okay, so how do we actually make all of this stick? Look, the key isn't to try and become a master of everything all at once. It's really about recognizing that communicating better is the key to getting better outcomes in every single part of your life.
And this quote just puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? Whether you're in a boardroom having a difficult chat with your partner or asking for a raise, your success is almost always determined by your ability to communicate trust and clarity. It's the fundamental game we're all playing all the time.
So, just remember this. You do not have to be a natural to be a powerful communicator. It is a skill, and it's a skill built on science. So whether it's the 3-2-1 trick, or focusing on your own grounded state, or just telling a better story, the tools are all yours now. The only question left is, which one are you going to put into practice in your very next conversation?